after one of the boys told his mother. Detectives say Castle started providing sex and marijuana to a 14-year-old runaway who was living with her 2 months ago. Police say she seduced a 15-year-old living in an apartment below her 2 weeks ago. That boy told his mother because he thought he could get in trouble.
She just said that her 15-year-old son had approached her because he received a phone call or he had talked with the 21-year-old lady. She told him that she thought she was pregnant and that he may be the father of the child. And so the 15-year-old boy was just a little bit concerned, and so he decided to tell his mother.
Castle remains in jail tonight. She's charged with sex abuse, sodomy, and delivery of a controlled substance. Her arraignment is scheduled for tomorrow.
A 6-foot wide boulder fell on Highway 99 east south of Oregon City, closing the southbound lanes and tying up traffic for 2.5 hours. A car crashed into that boulder near South End Road. The driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Geologists were called to the scene to make sure the hillside was stable. After they did their work and gave the okay, crews cleared the mess and lanes reopened to traffic. That was about 10 o'clock.
The biggest sign of the holiday season is on display in downtown Portland tonight. Today, a 5-ton Christmas tree arrived in Pioneer Courthouse Square to kick off Portland's season of lights. The tree was grown near Bend and donated by Crown Pacific. 5,000 lights will soon adorn the 85-year-old Grand Fir, and you can see the tree lighting on November 27th.
Now all we need is the snow. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't think so.
Here's meteorologist Rob Marciano with a quick look at the weather.
John, Kathy, a dry day for the most part today. Just a lot of clouds around. Temperatures hovering right around 50 degrees. We do expect another weather system to come on board tonight. Most of it will go down to the south, and then rain will be on the increase overnight. Look for an overnight low tonight of about 45 degrees. Cloudy skies with rain developing late. Tomorrow, most of the action down to the south, but we'll keep showers about into the forecast here in the Portland area. Look for cloudy conditions, of course. Cool as well. A high temperature of about 50 degrees. Take a look at your 5-day forecast. Tomorrow, some showers and cloudy. Actually, Wednesday and Thursday don't look to be all that bad. Temperatures right around 50 with morning fog. Friday and Saturday, another weather system comes in with more rain. That's the latest from the Weather Department. John and Kathy, have a good night.
And that's our news update for this Monday.
World News Tonight is next. Good night.
On World News Tonight this Monday, once again, Saddam Hussein cost the United States a lot of money. It was very close. Now what is next? Another tobacco war gets settled, and we'll take a look at what the industry is planning next to deliver nicotine. And what's next for humanity? The year 2000 is fast approaching, which means that some people are thinking Armageddon.
From ABC News World Headquarters, this is a West Coast edition of World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. The United States is no longer rushing forces to the Persian Gulf. The world is watching very closely to see what happens now. Is the world finally going to get what it wants from Saddam Hussein? And will the economic sanctions against Iraq be lifted? It was very close this weekend. An awful lot of people almost got killed. First, from Baghdad itself, ABC's Morton Dean.
The workers who administer the UN humanitarian programs began returning to Iraq today.
We're happy to be back.
Their return is non-controversial and welcome here. But the arms inspectors will be greeted by a familiar sight. The banners vilifying them are still very visible across from the UN compound's main entrance. In the compound, preparations were being made today so that the inspectors can quickly resume their work. The inspectors' first priority, to check their monitoring equipment, unchecked for weeks. The UN has said it will begin surprise inspections of suspect sites as soon as Wednesday, the kind of inspections that frequently had led to confrontations.
I think you'll see a fairly large, very intrusive inspection team going into some fairly sensitive sites very early on.
Most importantly, the inspectors will demand hundreds of documents. According to the UN, one document provides a detailed account of Iraq's chemical weapons program. UN inspectors say they saw the document in July, but Iraq refused to provide a copy. Other documents are believed to describe Iraq's biological weapons program.
This information exists. It's in the possession of the government of Iraq. It's their call. They can either give it to us or not. I earnestly hope they do.
Of course, the big question is, what happens if history repeats itself and Iraq refuses to honor any of those requests? Horton Dean, ABC News, Baghdad.
The Clinton administration wants the Iraqi president's word about allowing inspections to be tested pretty quickly. And the rhetoric was generally more measured today, even though Defense Secretary Cohen did say this was Saddam Hussein's last chance. Once again, by playing it as close as he did, the Iraqi leader cost the U.S. a lot of extra money, and he did get a comprehensive review of economic sanctions. But it was ever so close. Here's ABC's John McCarthy.
It was an air campaign that could have lasted a week, and U.S. military planners estimated that at least 10,000 Iraqis might have been killed. In the course of the week, plans called for hitting air defense, intelligence headquarters, special military units that guard Saddam Hussein. Pentagon officials say many soldiers would have died. But there also would have been civilian casualties. In the interest of tactical surprise, the first salvo of cruise missiles was set for early evening when the streets of Baghdad and other cities would have been crowded. This was the scene Saturday afternoon aboard the USS Cape St. George in the Persian Gulf. Chilling evidence of just how close the U.S. came to launching the ship's cruise missiles.
I just received word from my boss, Rear Admiral Fry, Commander Task Force 50, that there will be strikes tonight.
As the sun set, the ship was made ready. ABC's Mike Lee, who was on board, said that the countdown was stopped just 18 minutes before launch. The news spread fast.
There's been some breakthroughs on the diplomatic front and the strike is canceled.
The White House knew on Friday that Iraq was starting to back down, but kept the countdown going until Saddam Hussein gave the assurances they wanted in writing. The UN Special Envoy to Baghdad, Prakash Shah, was the middleman in those frantic final hours. With time running out, he struggled to nail down new Iraqi positions while fighting Baghdad's aging telephones and fax machines. He said today that he knew military action was close, but admitted he had no idea how close. John McCarthy, ABC News, the Pentagon.
When we come back, some of the other news, a new tobacco settlement, and the new way to get a nicotine fix.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by fast-acting Mylanta.
You can feel it start to burn all through here. All you can think about is getting rid of it quickly. I even tried Zantac 75, but it didn't work fast enough. Finally, I asked my doctor, and my doctor said Mylanta. Fast-acting Mylanta was made to work fast where heartburn hurts most. Soothing, on contact. It's so fast. My doctor said Mylanta.
And if you suffer from gas, there's a Mylanta just for you. Mylanta Gas.
Max is a mighty dog. That's why he gets new Mighty Dog carved beef and gravy. Tender slices and savory gravy to give Max all the energy he needs. New Mighty Dog carved beef and carved beef with pasta. Mighty Dog from Friskies.
I'm in pain. So much pressure. I just can't focus.
Mom, you okay?
Clear the pain with new Tavist Sinus Gel Caps. Unlike extra-strength Tylenol, it unclogs the congestion that may cause the sinus pain. Be clear-headed, clear through your day with new Tavist Sinus Gel Caps.
At Boston Market, you can get the chicken America loves and the deal America wants. Now you can buy a whole chicken at Boston Market for only $5.99, and great side items starting at just 99 cents. So tonight, take home the chicken America loves, only at Boston Market.
What if you find something? Will you know who to see? What to ask? How can you be sure you'll get the care you need? At Kaiser Permanente, doctors work together to surround you with care without interference from insurance administrators. Because if the moment ever does come, shouldn't you be in the hands of doctors? Kaiser Permanente, in the hands of doctors.
Driver just voted the Subaru Forester #1 in its class. And with full-time all-wheel drive and 30% more horsepower than the Honda CR-V, the Forester isn't just easy to own, it's tough to beat.
There was a new tobacco deal unveiled today. We reported it was in the works last week. It'll cost the tobacco companies $206 billion to to settle with 46 states, but it's far less than the deal that Congress killed last summer. It bans advertising on billboards and cartoon characters such as Joe Camel, but tobacco companies would be allowed to sponsor sports events and would not be penalized if teenage smoking does not decline. Individual states have until Friday to sign on, and whatever the results of the deal, industry is already devising ways to get smokers money without so much smoke. Here's ABC's Aaron Brown.
This may be the next generation cigarette. Tobacco giant Philip Morris hopes it is. The company has been test marketing the high-tech contraption in a handful of stores in Richmond, Virginia.
It's weird. I've never seen nobody smoke a cigarette out of a little battery-operated machine. It's different.
It is that, but its purpose is the same, to deliver nicotine, the drug in cigarettes, to the smoker. But it does so with very little secondhand smoke.
It's obviously not near as much smoke as you would from a regular cigarette.
Philip Morris claims the Accord significantly reduces the compounds public health officials say are most likely to cause smoking-related diseases.
What the company doesn't claim and can't claim is that Accord is a safe cigarette, or that it's even safer than a conventional cigarette, because there is simply no credible evidence, none, that it is.
This is a safer way of getting nicotine. It is the next generation device to help people quit smoking.
It feels a lot like using a cigarette, and that's attractive to a lot of people.
The Nicotrol inhaler mimics a cigarette right down to the slight burning sensation in the back of the throat. For roughly twice the price of a cigarette and by prescription only, the smoker trying to stop only has to give up the tobacco, not the nicotine, and not the routine, the hand-to-mouth, the puffing that is so much a part of the habit. Side by side, the two products couldn't seem more different. The non-cigarette looks more like a cigarette than the cigarette does. But in a most important respect, they are the same. They are the next generation nicotine delivery devices.
I think these products mark the beginning of a whole series of products that will come from both the pharmaceutical industry and the tobacco industry that show a lot of creativity in nicotine delivery.
And those two industries are competing for the dollars of the 50 million Americans who crave a dose of nicotine each and every day. Aaron Brown, ABC News, New York.
On the money tonight, some evidence that the U.S. industry is stagnating. Industrial output fell 0.1% last month. Factories were operating at their lowest level in more than 6 years. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 9,000 for the first time since late July. The Dow was up more than 91 points to finish at 90.11. On the NASDAQ market, stocks were up 13 points. Another big star marketing himself as an investment, Michael Jackson is about to offer bonds that pay interest based on his future record royalties. The singer David Bowie once did the same thing and raised $55 million. And how hot can a mobile phone be? In Finland, virtually all the national economic growth is being sustained by Nokia, the world's biggest cell phone maker. Nokia's profits were up 85% in the third quarter. Coming up, a black college in name only, using your money.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
When we were traveling cross country, we stopped at a place. They had the business channel we started watching,